In the vast and profound world of Shrouding the Heavens, the legendary figure of the Ruthless Emperor stands tall, a woman who defied her mortal limits and shook the ancient and modern realms alike. She carved her own path to enlightenment with nothing but an unyielding will and sheer determination. Her story is both heartbreaking and inspiring, and yet, when compared to the three supreme emperors, Shi Hao, Ye Fan, and Chu Feng, one question remains. If her talent was no less than theirs, why did she ultimately fall short of reaching the realm beyond the Dao of Sacrifice? Let's explore this deeply rooted mystery. The Ruthless Emperor was not born with any divine privilege. In fact, she came from an ordinary background, and her physique was considered inferior even to average cultivators. From the very start, her journey was filled with hardship, with each step forward requiring struggle and pain. But she possessed one thing that no circumstance could extinguish: an unshakable obsession. It was her deep and unwavering love for her brother, her driving force to defy fate itself. Fueled by this obsession, she cultivated the heaven-devouring demon art, a taboo technique that consumed countless kingly physiques. She walked a blood-soaked path filled with endless trials and unimaginable challenges, and through it all, she rose to power. She ascended to the level of an emperor, joining the ranks of the most powerful beings across time. This alone would mark her as a figure of unparalleled brilliance. But she didn't stop there. In her later years, she transcended even further. She created the Immortal Heaven Art, shedding her demonic fetus and transforming into a flawless, chaotic body. This was akin to a complete rebirth, an entirely new life. Such a feat demonstrated not only her profound talent, but also her deep comprehension of the great Dao. Her cultivation and insight were unmatched, showing that her ability was in no way inferior to any of the other supreme beings. Now contrast her journey with that of Shi Hao, the desolate Heaven Emperor. Shi Hao was born with a supreme body, an innate gift that made him the chosen one of his era. He emerged at the end of the chaotic ancient times, an age filled with peril and upheaval. Yet he flourished. Through the method of self-transformation, he reached the peak and became a supreme immortal emperor. Ultimately, he ascended to the realm of the sacrificial Dao. While his journey was not without difficulty, his natural advantages provided him with a solid foundation. His supreme physique allowed him to better resonate with the rules of heaven and earth, absorbing spiritual energy with ease. Moreover, the time in which he lived was favorable. The natural laws of the world were more intact. The environment was rich with resources and Taoist opportunities, giving him a considerable edge in his pursuit of enlightenment. Then there is Ye Fan, the Heaven Emperor. Born with the ancient holy physique, Ye Fan faced a different kind of struggle. Cursed by the great Dao itself, the path to the four extremes was blocked, making it seemingly impossible for him to become an emperor. But Ye Fan refused to yield. With his unparalleled talent, he shattered the curse and forged his own way, cultivating against the will of heaven. His journey was marked by fortune as well as adversity. From the early days of his cultivation, he encountered countless precious techniques and divine artifacts. Just as importantly, he was never alone. He made strong bonds with like-minded comrades, and together they walked the immortal path. After becoming an emperor, he was accompanied by legendary figures like the Ruthless Emperor herself and the Wuxi Emperor. These powerful allies explored the unknown with him, helping him to continuously break through bottlenecks. In the end, Ye Fan too reached the level of the Dao of Sacrifice. Chu Feng, the Emperor of Chu, had yet another beginning. He rose from modern-day Earth, seemingly ordinary at first glance, but through a mix of remarkable opportunities and relentless effort, he ascended quickly through the ranks of cultivation. His era was one of transformation, where the laws of the universe were reshaping themselves. This gave Chu Feng access to novel insights and experimental cultivation techniques. He boldly fused various unique powers and created an entirely new system of practice. This innovation allowed him to surpass even the Dao of Sacrifice and step into an even higher realm. So why, despite all her brilliance, did the Ruthless Emperor fall short of this final transcendence? The answer is layered and tragic. First and foremost, it lies in her obsession. Her entire path was built upon the hope of one day reuniting with her brother. This singular focus gave her strength, It was the emotional fire that carried her through countless tribulations. But it also became a cage. Her worldview, her goals, her very identity were centered around a personal bond, rather than the broader pursuit of the Tao. In contrast, the three emperors, Shi Hao, Ye Fan, and Chu Feng, eventually transcended their personal desires. Their motivations evolved. They sought to break the limits of the universe, to protect all beings, to pierce the heavens. Their minds expanded with their cultivation, allowing them to see beyond individual attachments. Second, the Ruthless Emperor was a victim of her time. She lived in an age where the natural laws were fragmented and chaotic. The world lacked the stable framework needed for further ascension. Resources were scarce, breakthroughs were perilous, and comprehension of the Tao was far more difficult. Unlike the other three emperors, who each lived in relatively favorable epochs, the Ruthless Emperor had to battle not only against her fate, but also against the limitations of her era. This placed an enormous constraint on her ability to step into higher realms. Lastly, we must understand the profound difference between the Dao of Sacrifice and the realm above it. The Dao of Sacrifice already represents the ultimate sublimation, the burning away of all paths, transcending rules and order itself. But to go beyond that is to erase all that you are. It demands complete self-annihilation. One must sacrifice not only their power, but their identity, their Tao, their evolution. Everything must return to eternal silence. Only from that silence can true transcendence be reborn. The Ruthless Emperor, as powerful as she was, still carried a lingering flame in her heart, her brother. That small thread of humanity, that deeply rooted longing, may have been the very thing that prevented her from letting go completely. She could never truly offer up everything. And so the gateway to the realm beyond sacrifice remained closed to her. And so, while the Ruthless Emperor stands as a legend in her own right, a cultivator whose path inspired awe and reverence, she remains a tragic figure, a peerless talent bound not by lack of ability, but by the chains of love and time. This perhaps is what truly separates her from the three great emperors. And that brings us to the end of this deep dive into the legacy of the Ruthless Emperor in Shrouding the Heavens. Her journey is one of unparalleled talent, heartbreaking obsession, and the harsh reality of the cultivation world, where even the strongest may fall short, not because of weakness, but because of love. If you enjoyed this analysis and want to see more breakdowns of legendary cultivators and epic stories from the world of Donghua and Xianxia, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. Drop a comment below. Do you think the Ruthless Emperor could have surpassed the Dao of Sacrifice under different circumstances? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and as always, walk the path, seek the Tao, and stay relentless. See you in the next one.